So I'm back from spending 2 days and 2 nights in the fabulous paradise of San Diego, California, which is where my parents live. Uh, we live in West Sacramento, and I flew down early Saturday morning, and it is now Monday, and I flew back up early this morning. 2 days, 2 nights with my mom alone. Why did I go alone, darling?
We thought it would be nice for your mom to just have some time with you one-on-one because the last few years, every time you've seen her, it's been with me or me and the kids the last couple of times.
Yeah.
So we thought she would appreciate just having you all to herself for a couple of days.
It was nice to have one-on-one time. And I think like in a year, we're talking about going down in a year, just me and you. Even me and her just going off and having lunch.
You can go to Costco together.
We can go to Costco together. Costco has everything. So I walk in to my parents' house, and right away she says, "You're too skinny. You have no ass." And I said, "Yeah, and that's the way I like it." So is that her saying I skip leg day, honey?
I try to get you to do squats with me in the gym. You refuse to work your glutes.
Real men skip leg day.
And oop. And oop.
Greetings, Internet. Welcome to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me in our bedroom for our little program here. Okay, so I'm back from hanging with my parents for 2 days. And just a few notes, ideas, observations, hot takes. So she kept wanting me to take stuff on the plane back with me. Like she had a bedroom set up. She made the bed all nice, and it had a blanket on it. She's like, "Do you remember this blanket? This blanket was yours when you lived here." And I go, "Oh yeah, I remember the blanket. It was a nice blanket." And she goes, "Do you want to take it back with you?" And I go, "Mom, I'm not bringing a blanket, a giant blanket on the plane with me." Like I saw many people today. First of all, people who have the suitcase with wheels as their carry-on, those people are mental patients. They're nuts. Like if you have a rollaway, a suitcase with wheels, you should automatically have to check that.
Even if it's tiny?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, why does it have wheels?
Because it's hard to carry.
Then it should be checked, okay?
Some people don't lift like you.
Jeez. I saw people with like giant bags, like giant Marshalls bags with stuff.
Do they still do the thing where it has to fit in this little box, and if it's too big, then you can't carry it on?
They have that thing there where you put it. You're allegedly supposed to put your bag there, but no one puts their bag there. And I saw like my bag was packed to the gills today, and I was like, my bag wouldn't fit into that little thing. No one pays attention to that stuff. But yeah, if you have a luggage with wheels, check it. Okay, so I was like, no, I'm not bringing a giant blanket on a plane, 500 miles. And then we go to Costco. She buys a giant bag of walnuts because she likes walnuts, and I say, "Oh, I like walnuts in my oatmeal." And she said, "Oh, do you want half of this bag to bring to Sacramento?" And I go, "No, I'm not going to bring $4 worth of walnuts, 500 miles. I can buy walnuts. There are walnuts in Sacramento. I have walnuts in our cupboard. I don't need more walnuts. Thank you for this gracious offer, Mother, but I'm not going to bring some walnuts on the plane." And then the third and final thing she wanted to bring on the plane. So we're into rice now. We bought a rice cooker. I'm cooking rice like mad. The kids love it. It's a huge upgrade in our lives, in our grain lives. But she bought a big bag of basmati rice, white basmati rice, and it was literally on the couch when I walked in to their place. And she goes, I bought this for you. And I go, okay. And I was like, I'm not going to carry a big, heavy bag of rice 40,000 feet in the air, 500 miles up to Sacramento, where there is basmati rice that I could purchase. And I appreciate the gesture, but it's getting ridiculous. Rice, blankets, walnuts. What the heck?
It's a very mom thing to do.
Yeah.
To just like give your child everything, and you just want to take care of them.
Absolutely. But there's also the practicality, and it's like, I appreciate the sentiment. So
you did end up bringing the rice with you.
I did. Well, so this is how it went down. I was like, I'm not bringing this rice. And then I throw it in my bag. I'm like, okay. But then she like found a bunch of clothes like that I used to wear 20 years ago. And I assume still fit on some level. I'm actually going to try them on. But they're nice. Like they're old Abercrombie and American Eagle and J. Crew. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember these. And I had no idea where they were. And here they were in my mom's house, and she busted them out. I was like, oh, so I'm bringing this back. I'm bringing back rice. I'm bringing back some Vietnamese vermicelli noodles, which, okay, they do sell them in the Sacramento area, but you got to go to like a real Ranch 99 Asian market. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to bring them. And they're light. They're skinny rice
like
noodles.
Less than a pound.
Yeah. So I'm packing my bag, and it's getting heavy and thick, THICC. And I'm like, well, this basmati rice has got to go. So I walk out of my room, and I put it back on the couch. I'm like, oh, Mom, I'm not going to bring this basmati rice. And she goes, Vince, first of all, I don't eat white rice. And I'm like, well, why is that my problem? Because she has the same exact basmati rice bag in her cupboard, but it's brown rice.
Ah.
And she goes, Vince, I don't eat white rice. And I'm like, well, that's not my problem. And then she goes, I bought that specifically for you and Carolyn. And if you don't bring it back to Sacramento, it's going to hurt my feelings. And I said, well, I guess I'm bringing the bag of basmati rice.
Good boy. Good son.
In my Adidas carry-on, which was heavy and overly stuffed with Abercrombie and Fitch clothes that I used to wear 25 years ago. But yeah, so.
And oop.
It's kind gesture.
You got to do what Mama wants you to do sometimes.
Yeah. Last time we were down there, so I have like a fitness watch, and it's not an Apple Watch. It's not a Samsung Galaxy fancy schmancy. It's a $20. It measures your steps. Mm-hmm. And allegedly it measures your heart rate, but I don't believe it.
I don't believe that either.
It has all these sorts of physical fitness numbers that it tracks, but the steps, I believe the steps, but my beats per minute or whatever, my heart rate and my physical fitness, whatever. But it's super cheap. It's $20. Last time we were down there, my mom remarked, oh, I would like something like that to measure my steps. And I took note of that. And I wore it down in my recent visit 2 days ago. And I go, Mom, do you want this watch? Because I wore it specifically to give it to her. Because she remarked she wanted it. And I was like, I don't use it. I got a pedometer on my phone. So I wore it down there specifically to give it to her. And I'm like, Mom, do you want this watch? Here's this watch. I'm giving you this watch. And she said, no. She said, I don't live my life by the clock anymore. And I was like, what? And she said, because she's retired, essentially, right?
Yeah.
She's effectively retired. And I never thought about it like this, but she says, yeah, I don't pay attention to the clock anymore. And so one thing about my mom, she's like a gym rat. She loves the gym. She spends hours in the gym all the time, gym. And she was saying, she's like, yeah, I go to the gym and she takes classes. She loves like the aerobics and yoga, whatever. She's like, I go to the gym and like a normal person or whatever that means. But you would take a look at the gym's website and be like, oh, I wanted to take this class. So I'll be there Tuesday at 3 p.m. that's the class I want. But my mom says, I don't pay attention to time anymore. So she goes to the gym, and then she looks at what classes are going on and coming up. And then if she wants to take one of the classes, she takes it. But if none of the classes appeal to her, she just does her own thing, and they have like video classes or whatever. So I was like, wow, that's like a whole new way, like being retired.
She's a free spirit.
Yeah. You wake up when you want. You amble around for a little while. And then when you get tired, you go to bed. And that must be so like freeing. You're independent. Instead of being so by the clock, and you got a schedule. And you got a regiment.
Yes.
And you get sort of into a rut, but that's what life is. But yeah, it's gonna be something. When how do you feel your day? Food.
We're gonna have to go to the gym more.
Yeah. Show up to the gym and be like,
what you guys got going? What's going on right now?
Right. What's happening here?
And oop.
So I show up, walk into the door, and next to the giant bag of basmati rice is a shoebox with a ton of pictures from my youth. Because kids back in the day, we used to have those Instamatic or whatever, Fuji cameras, disposable cameras. And we used to take pictures with reckless abandon. Go to a Safeway and or Vons and or
Rite
Aid, get them developed. Which would take a day or two. And then you would have to go back to Rite Aid / Safeway / Vons.
I miss that. And then the surprise of going through and seeing, did any turn out?
Yeah.
What did we even take pictures of?
What happened here? Why did I take... This is a waste of a picture. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So it's a shoebox full of pictures. And I'm like, oh... of me in college age and a little thereafter. So I'm going through them, and she says, yeah, I threw away a bunch of you just partying. And I'm like, well, the thing is that these pictures that she saved were of me partying. So she determined that these other partying pictures weren't worthy enough.
Ooh, you must have been a hot mess in those pictures if you threw them out.
I know. I'll never become president now. But I'm going through these pictures, and a lot of memories, a lot of fun times, not so fun times, or just, I don't remember some of them. I sent you a ton. I took a ton of pictures of them, and my initial idea was like, oh, well, I'm gonna bring these back to our home. But then I was like, what the hell am I gonna do with them? They'll just go up into a shoebox.
Put them in a drawer here.
Yeah, and so I took a picture of a bunch of them, and it was cool to like jog that part of my brain, those memories, to reminisce. But as far as physically owning them, I just told my mom, I was like, just throw them away. Like, I saw them, and it was cool to see them, and they're in my head, and they're in the cloud. They're on my phone and in Google Photos or whatever. They're on the internet. But as far as physically bringing them back on a plane next to my basmati rice, ridiculous.
You were going to bring home 2 framed pictures that had your dad.
Yeah.
Did you not bring those home?
I didn't, because my bag was too packed with basmati rice and Vietnamese vermicelli noodles and Abercrombie & Fitch pants from 25 years ago. But I do. Well, even if I brought those back, and I love those pictures, and I love that frame, where am I gonna put? What am I gonna do with them?
Just keep them near you.
Yeah,
near your bedside.
Well, down in the garage we have a little frame of 3 Luna pictures.
Yeah.
And we just put it. Well, I put it down there because they're cute and they're fun. But do they have any place in our current home?
No, they don't.
Yeah, because they're too far gone, and one of them, like Luna, has cake all over her face, and it's adorable. But
in the frame that those pictures are in,
oh yeah,
it's like a baby frame, like it was in her nursery when she was little.
Right.
So it doesn't really go Like, we wouldn't want to hang it up anywhere in the house currently.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like having it. I don't want to get rid of it or anything.
Yeah.
So you should definitely bring those pictures of your dad up.
Yeah.
And just for us to have.
Yeah. I think like that area of the garage is just a fun, like it doesn't need to be formal or current. Just kind of a throwaway keepsake rando assortment of pictures. Yeah, but the frames are very, I would imagine, 30, 40 years. The frames are very fragile, and I didn't want to test it in my little my not so little carry-on bag. It was like a freaking piece of sausage that was packed to the gills, like like wrapped in sausage casing, super tight. I told my mom to mail them up, but mailing is kind of expensive now, so I don't know, maybe next time. Another thing is that, so she's like, yeah, I threw away a bunch of pictures of you partying. Okay, that's cool. And then she's like, and I found a letter of when you got caught smoking weed in your dorm. And I go, oh, yeah. That. So at San Francisco State, I smoked marijuana.
You did what?
And our RA, resident advisor, who's like, he was a student, but he was sort of the dorm mom role, in charge, our leader or whatever, organized activities, although I don't remember him organizing any activities. His name was Sebastian. He reported, so we were smoking weed. Me, Alice, Lupe, and Chris, I believe. Oh. Yeah. And it, obviously, dorms, thin walls, and everyone's really close to each other, so the smell got out, the smoke got out, and Sebastian called the popo on us.
Oh my gosh.
And the popo showed up, and we opened the door, and we were just like, oh shit. So it was 2 cops, because there's not serious crime happening, honey. There's kids smoking pot. They played good cop, bad cop. Like, one cop was like, one of them was like, should we arrest him? And the other cop was like, no, just write him a ticket. And it was very odd observing this. And we were stoned also. We were high out of our minds. So what happened was they ended up writing us a ticket. And then we got a letter from the dorm, school, whatever. It was just a warning. But
was it like a strike one?
Yeah. Yeah. And then the ticket, I had to go down to some building, some cop building or city building, and pay a fine. It was like $100-ish. Yeah, that was quite the experience. And Sebastian, we found out Sebastian told on us. Yeah. And it was just, after that, I was like, why would you do that, Sebastian? I don't know. Like, if you're an RA, like, that's your job to, but on the other hand, what the hell? Who cares, dude?
Was he hecka straight-laced?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he wasn't going to let that go.
Yeah. So I guess I saved that letter, and my mom found it. And so she was like, I found the letter when you got caught smoking weed, and I saw all the pictures of you partying. I thought you were an angel. I thought you were an angel back then. And I was like, oh, I'm a good person, Mom. But
is she just finding all this out currently, or has she known about?
I think she knew about like the drinking, but the marijuana, and there's one picture in particular, I'll tell you later, honey, that involved other narcotics. I'm wondering if she saw it, and if she saw it, if she knew what was going on. I mean, you would know what was going on. Actually, Adam Pobner has a copy of it. I don't know why. I don't know how. Every once in a while, he sends it to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe, why would you do it? He wants to blackmail me. He's
blackmailing you, totally.
He's going to hold me for ransom or whatever. Yeah, so that's that.
Let it be on the record that this is in your past.
Yes. I'm a good person now. I've changed. We all have a dark side, okay? If you're listening right now and looking down on me, look in the mirror, okay? You're not so perfect yourself.
And oop.
So this was the first time that you and I have been apart physically since our marriage, right?
Yeah.
Because Platt Electric Supply sent me to Oregon twice, but we weren't married then?
I think, yes, that was before we got married.
Okay. So since we got married, this is our first time geographically apart at night time.
Spending, a night apart.
Yeah. Obviously, like, we go different places, run tasks, run errands, with your parents being far away. But spending a night apart, this was the first time. What went, do you have any thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections on the experience? I mean, it was only 2 nights, but it was kind of a big deal.
The worst 2 nights ever.
We were 500 miles apart.
It felt very weird the first day.
Yeah.
I was surprised how strange I realized it was that I'm so used to having you around unless we're at work.
Yeah.
And so it just made me realize, like, wow, this person is with me all the time. And that's what I've gotten accustomed to.
Yeah.
And I like having you around all the time. So it was very weird for you to be gone.
Yeah. It was, for me, it was like, well, I thought of like the physical locations because this is our home and we reside in this home. But me, like, I've flown down to San Diego by myself 30 times maybe, and kind of hanging out with my parents by myself. I slipped into that role, and so it was easy. It was familiar, comfortable, sort of. Been there many a time, but I wonder, like, for you, because this is our home, and you haven't been in this location without me. So how did you manage?
I did. The first day was just kind of odd, and then the second day you were gone, I had to do our grocery pickup and shopping by myself. And like, obviously I'm capable of doing that, but yeah. I was like a little scared, and like I drove to the Walmart by myself. Which
you're so brave.
I've done this by myself, but you've been here at the house, but it was just kind of daunting. Yeah. Like, I have to go inside by myself. I have to push the cart.
Yeah.
I have to do everything on my own.
99% of the time we do that together. How was, since I wasn't here, honey, who refilled the Brita? Let's be honest.
Well, Luna will tell you that she's the only one who refills the Brita.
She's keeping this house together.
The kids did step up. I said, you guys, Vince is gone. I need you to help me out. Mm-hmm. So they helped bring in the groceries and just little things here and there I'd ask them to do. Who took out the trash? I did.
Do you know where to put it? Did you put it in the right place?
I hope so.
Did you, like I said, I slipped back into that role because I know that role of I'm alone in my parents' house. Did you feel like, and I realized it was for 51 hours, but when you were a single mom, did those feelings where you were the only person and
no,
and you had to control the kids and you were on your own? No,
it was such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and we were in constant yes. Connection, sending each other pictures nonstop.
Mm-hmm. And oop.
Although I missed you, obviously.
Yes.
I really liked sleeping in our king-size bed all by myself.
Oh, dear, honey.
I was spread out like a star in the middle of the bed. And then I'd roll to your side, I'd roll to my side.
Sounds fun.
It was nice.
Am I on the couch from now on? You tried to get Len and or Luna to sleep with you or snuggle with you?
Yeah.
And it didn't happen?
Yeah. Well, Lennox did snuggle with me a little bit.
Oh, okay.
My original plan was one night Lennox can sleep in bed with me, and then the next night Luna can. Mm-hmm. Neither of them wanted to, so it was just me in here both nights, which was fine.
Yeah.
But I guess they're getting too old for that?
Yeah.
which makes me a little sad.
I snuggled with myself in my old Abercrombie & Fitch pants from 2001. But I really missed like our weekend. Like our weekends are very important. And the new way to pronounce important is important. Just side note. But so I felt like I lost a weekend, which sucks. But it was good time with my parents. 'Cause like you said, whenever we're down there. And then when my mom's come up, you're almost always around.
Yeah.
But it was good to be down there one-on-one, so she could criticize me and tell me what a disappointment I am. But I think the best thing we did together was she made shrimp spring rolls, and I want us to make that.
Yes, we're gonna do it.
Yeah. So I got the ingredients, I got the method, the recipe, and so I was like asking questions, and she's telling me how to do this, and she's telling me, well, this is the real way, the quote unquote real Vietnamese way, but this is how they do it now because she put peanuts in the pork, and I was like, Mom, that's like peanut butter and pork, that doesn't go well together. And she said that's how they used to do it, but then everyone out here with their peanut allergies, so they don't put peanuts in the pork anymore. But I thought that was really like, it was fun to watch that and ask her questions and kind of participate, and it was good quality time.
And
one thing you brought up for me to do was see my friends when I was down in San Diego. And I thought, well, why would I want to do that? Because, well, I remember when I was a young man, a bunch of people went off to college, and I was one of them. And I remember, like, Thanksgiving, you had 2-3 days that you, like, everyone or almost everyone went, quote unquote, back home. So you would be on the phone. Maybe you would page each other back in the day. But you would try to put together something, go out, let's hang, let's party. Because we have very finite amount of time. And then Christmas, it was like, okay, I'm going to fly in on December 18th and I'll be there till December 29th. Okay. And so you're juggling schedules, but there was so much just urgency and anticipation to hang out with your old friends when you were young and you were back in your hometown. But that desire in me is like, it's gone. You remember that, right?
Yeah. I didn't leave my hometown. I stayed here.
Right.
But I did have friends who went off. And then all the time around the holidays when people would come back home, we would get together. And that was a regular thing that happened. And I've noticed in recent years it's kind of tapered off. Yeah. I don't know if we're just getting older. I'm not sure. I guess that's the reason. But I still have the desire. Yeah? I think, like, if anybody came home and something was set up, I would definitely be excited to go see them. Do you just feel like... Well, what's your reason for feeling like you don't really have that strong urgency to get together with people?
There's just a lack of absence of there's no rapport anymore. There's no, and I remember like seeing what I didn't see Todd Kimmel for years and years, and then I would see him, and you pick up, and it's literally like you pick up right where you left off, and it's fantastic. But that was a long time ago. You're just so out of touch, and you send texts here and there, you send messages, DMs here and there, but I just have very little desire to hang and catch up, and I feel like everyone's busy and have their own lives, and that's just the way it is. But I did feel bad. Like, I should have hung out with Jen Kwok. She came to our wedding. I like her boyfriend. I mean, I met her. I mean, they're fiance now. Mm-hmm. Met him once, but he seems like a nice dude. But I don't miss her parents, but I like her parents. I like her brother. That would have been cool to hang with them. And then the other thing is that, like, I only have a couple days, 51 hours or whatever with my parents. And I don't want to spend 3, 4, 5 away from them.
Right. Maybe if you'd stayed another night or two, then maybe you would have wanted to take time to go see her, see Jen. But I think it's good that you had all that time to spend with your parents.
Yeah. Well, next year, when we go down, we'll rendezvous with Jen and Dimitri. I think they'll be married by then. Woo! Oh. But yeah, things are different now.
I think a lot of people, as we get older, you kind of become more of a homebody.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the sense of physically wanting to be in your home, but just kind of your circle gets smaller.
Yeah. And
like maybe it's just like your immediate family or your spouse. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, as they get older, they just kind of change. Some people don't, but I think that's a normal thing that happens.
Yeah. Well, I just lost. I mean, it's so weird with the internet and cell phones, because you don't lose contact, but you lose a lot of the material of what makes a quote unquote friendship. But yet you're hanging on because it's so easy to communicate. And I thought about, I basically have 3 friends in San Diego. And Arnold Gonzalez, who I love dearly. The last time we communicated was his uncle died. And I remember his uncle, just from like family things or whatever. Fun guy, nice guy, gregarious. And I texted him and I said, "Hey man, sorry about your uncle." But that was the last time we communicated. So 3 years later, "Hey Arnold, do you want to hang out?" After not communicating at all it just seems, I don't know. And sometimes, and you drift apart. Like we were just talking with Luna. She hasn't like made the next jump with her new school friends.
Yeah. She hasn't, they don't go to each other's houses.
Yeah.
So they've gone like shopping a couple times together, but mostly they just talk to each other at school. And they talk on the phone all the time. Like on Snapchat and all these different Instagram.
Yeah.
But in-person get-togethers are...
So like... I
wonder if that has something to do with it.
So like all this communication, it affects friendships of 30 years, and it affects new friendships also, to where you don't need to you don't feel the need to be physically present. Yeah. And then my other friend Mary Grace Kennedy, she lives like a half hour away from my parents. I'd have to drive out there. And I would say we communicate the most, well, Jen number 1, but Mary number 2, but still it's like we're going to get together to talk about the BTS concert she went to a month ago.
I bet if you were in person with any of these people, you'd
pick up.
Yeah. You'd pick up, you'd be chatting, you'd be having a great time.
Yeah.
So maybe next time you're down there, you can see somebody.
When's the last time you hung with someone from high school? Was it the girl from England?
Yeah. My friend Elizabeth was here. When was that?
A couple months ago. 6 months ago?
6 months ago?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the last time. And I haven't seen her since 2013.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's been years because she lives in England now.
Yeah.
She comes back. Her mom still lives around here. So she does come home to visit her mom, but I don't think she and I have actually gotten together in many years. And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
We had a great time. She was over here at our house for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we just talked the whole time.
You guys got along famously. Mm-hmm. But no one else? You're getting old.
I'm getting old. Oh,
what about... Yeah.
High school. I was going to say Gina was here, but we weren't high school friends.
Renee Fisher.
When I haven't actually seen her in a few years.
But she comes around here.
She's my cousin. Does that count?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. But, well...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's been years. The last time I saw, Kelly and Bailey, who live out of state. Yeah. No, Bailey's in Southern California, but that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, at a wine thing, right? We went to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Quist
that was
household.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sporadic. And it's getting less and less as we get older.
That wasn't you and her just kicking
No. That was a
wine
thing.
Presentation.
But it was 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
That a group of us got together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting less. I'm happy when it happens.
Yeah.
But I'm okay when it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But do you think as you get older and older, you just... How do people make friends? How does my mom make friends? My mom has friends, and I'm always how does that happen? Because I don't make. I haven't made friends in so long. I barely have any friends from 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
We got to go to church, honey. Church.
Yeah.
And oop.
Oh, and just side note. Whenever I go, quote unquote, home to the Tony suburbs of San Diego, I always want to see someone from high school shopping. We went to Costco, we went to Dollar Tree, so I'm always looking at people's faces. And now that we're maskless, I can see people. But I was disappointed. I didn't see. But at our mid 40s, I don't know how people look anymore. Because sometimes I'll see people who I went to middle school with or high school with, and I'll see them on Facebook, and I'm they look really different. I think I look different.
You do look different. Do you remember you showed me a picture of you and a group of high school friends?
Yeah.
And you said, guess which one I am, and I picked the wrong person. You look pretty different.
Yeah. And so I stare at, especially guys, too closely whenever I go out. When I'm out and about, with my mom when we went shopping on Saturday. But sorry to report, I didn't see. I saw two guys who maybe they were my age-ish, and I was okay, that could have been someone I went to high school with.
You should just call out their name and see if they respond.
What about no? But I don't even know their name.
Oh.
But I'm they're my age, in the same area. We probably went to high school.
Did you graduate from Rancho Bernardo in 1994?
Are you a Bronco? 1995, honey.
Oh.
Although wait, which one makes me younger?
Yours.
But I did see one of the guys that it could have been Ryan Bailey was the guy I was thinking of when I was looking at this guy. And Ryan Bailey, it might have been Ryan Bailey, it might not have been, probably wasn't Ryan Bailey, but I was well, if Ryan Bailey at 45 would look like this guy, and I kept looking at him, and I would describe him as a better looking Jeremy Renner, but that's not saying much.
And oop.
So we went out to eat. We went to a place called Pizza Port, which is in Solana Beach, just a block and a half away from the beach. And I'm ordering because my parents, they were order whatever you want. And so I knew what pizza I wanted. And then for beverages, I said, Kurt, my stepdad, I said, what do you want? And he said, iced tea. I was okay. And then my mom, she doesn't like Coke or whatever. She doesn't like soda. She almost always gets water, and I was gonna get water. So I said, Mom, do you want a water? Because it's free. They give you a cup and you fill it up with water. So I said, Mom, do you want a water? She goes, no, we have bottled water in the car. And I go, Mom, you're taking I'm offering you a glass of fresh water with ice cubes in a cup, and instead you want to go back to the car, which was down. We had to park down the street and rescue this bottle that maybe 6 weeks old, 9 months old, of water. Like, it was very odd, and I think that goes back to just her frugalness, or no luxuries for her or something. But yeah, I was tripping out on her answer. Just rather have old bottled water than a fresh, crisp glass of ice water from the tap.
And oop.
And then one more story about my mom. So she's on her laptop and she's at the Gmail login screen. And she's like, I forgot my password. And I go, okay. And she goes and finds a couple pieces of paper. And this is, it's not like a notepad, or it's not in a binder. Like, these are scraps of paper, like corners of a piece of paper torn off. And this is where she writes her passwords for websites. And so she's looking down at these scraps of paper, and she can't read her writing because she's typing in what she wrote down, or what she interprets as what she wrote down, and she keeps getting rejected by this is not your password error or whatever. And so this is going on and on. And I'm like, Mom, like, just use the same password for every website. I mean, and she's like, no, the hackers will come get you. And I said, well, the hackers don't have you now. And you also don't have you now because you can't log into your gosh dang Gmail. And so she gets locked out. So after three attempts, it's like, wait 5 minutes. Okay. And then after 30 seconds, she turns to me and she's like, has it been 5 minutes? And I go, no, it hasn't been. And she's like, I think it's been 5 minutes. So she continues to log in. And so she gets into this, like how most websites will just text you a code. This, you had to like go into the settings of your phone, into the security area, like a part of the phone I'd never seen before. I'd never accessed, and it gave her this 10-digit number. Eventually she recovered it, but I said, Mom, use the same password for every single website. And if your laptop says, do you want me to save this password? Let it save the password for you, Mom. It's okay. And she was like, no, I don't want the hackers to get me. I'm like, well, you're on this 25-minute journey because you can't read your handwriting.
Maybe she could keep all these scraps at least in a box together so they don't get lost.
But but that box of scratch paper won't be organized. And she'll just be... yeah, and it was quite the process. And every time she tried to, because she kept typing essentially the same password, every time she got bounced out, I would say, good job, Mom, good job. And I would just laugh and smile. It was very comical, but
that is so frustrating. I feel her pain.
Yeah,
this happens to me sometimes.
Yeah, but I say, and it's not good security, but use the same password. And for the websites that require a capital letter, throw a capital letter in there. For the websites that require a punctuation mark, throw an exclamation point in there. But have some similar variation. And no, it's not quote unquote secure. But who cares? Like, ain't no one out here trying to hack you.
And oop.
Oh, and then side note. So she is doing something where she's going to open an account for Lennox and Luna. I don't know exactly what's happening, but she needed their full names, their birth dates, and their social security numbers, which you texted to me.
Yes.
And I said, Mom, I will text you this information. She goes, no, let me write it down. So I said, okay. So I verbally gave her the information, and she is that a stenographer or whatever?
Transcribed.
A transcriber, a court reporter. She wrote it all down on a piece of paper that might have been torn off from a 8x11 piece of paper. So she writes all this information down. Okay, cool. And then later that night, oh, I don't have Lennox and Luna's information. I'm like, Mom, you wrote it down on a piece of paper. Oh, well, I can't find that piece of paper. I'm like, well, what kind of system is this? You don't want to text it to you because of the hackers and security. So you write it down on a piece of paper, but now you've lost that piece of paper.
It could be anywhere.
Right. The hackers have it. The hacker could have come in the house, picked up this piece of paper, walked out. And
oh, no.
Yeah. So I was like, Mom, I am sending you their information via text message. And if Lennox and Luna get hacked, I think we'll be okay.
And oop.
Alrighty. Are we done, honey?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're grown up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for LastPass. We don't have a promo code for LastPass. Do you know what LastPass is, honey?
No.
It's a password manager.
Oh?
Look into it, Grandma Tian. Use our promo code. We don't have a promo code. Goodbye. I love you. We love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have got caught smoking weed in my dorm at San Francisco State, but I'm still a good person, and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. Bye-bye.
And oop. And oop.